Hello, divas, diamonds, and dolls. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Femininity with Momma Gail. Today, let me conversate a little bit with you about my first experience with femininity. When I grew up in the projects, you've all heard my testimony before. I grew up in the era of the end of the 1980s into the 1990s when the gay balls and people were coming out, the gentlemen were coming out of the closet and things of that nature, and they were considered fags at the time. So they were called by names like Alan the Fag, Johnny the Fag, things of that nature. But they begin to give themselves different names like Portia, Paris, and Camay, and things of that name. There were gay balls that were being held in a bar that was maybe 2 blocks from my house, and I used to sneak into this bar at a very young age to watch the performance of the gentlemen dressed up like Patti LaBelle and Diana Ross and Donna Summers, and women that were celebrities, and they would get on stage. They would build the stage in the bar, and they would walk the catwalk, and there would be people who would come from near and far, from New York and Connecticut and New Jersey, and they would compete one against another. But as I watch these ladies, as they, a lot of them were from the projects that I grew up in, so I would watch them, their body language, their attitude, they were real flamboyant in their femininity. So I kind of pushed away from the type of femininity that they had, because even though they were ladies, they crossed their legs, they did things like ladies did, but they were just too loud and outspoken and had to be seen and things of that nature. And it was something about their characteristics that I assumed only should belong to a drag queen, somebody who's gay, a woman who is coming out of the closet. So I kind of did not gravitate to the feminine energy that these ladies had. But there was one who is now, she has become my mentor in so many different ways. But from the time of this era, I would always watch her, and she was always a lady, never flamboyant, but there was something about her, and I couldn't really put my finger on what it was about her until I transitioned into this feminine journey 5 years ago. She had been in my life since I was a young girl, and I would watch her body language, watch her attitude, watch how different she was from all of the other women that I was growing up around. Because the women that I grew up around, they were in full blown masculine energy. 90% of them didn't have a man, didn't have a husband. They were sharing men from either the projects that I grew up in or in the surrounding areas. So I did not know what femininity was, but watching Mama Tisa, I began to see a difference about her. Mama Tisa had this drawing, electric, magnetic energy. When she came around me, I felt so soft and safe and comfortable. And this wasn't personal space that we were in. Like if I went to her workplace, or if she was around in the surrounding area of the projects where I was, there was just something different about her. Maybe 15, 16 years ago, I had the opportunity to work with her. And as we worked together, she worked in another part of a facility, but we got time to talk, to get to know each other, to really spend time. And the aura, the radiance, the beauty, the attractiveness that was on her from when I was a little girl, she still had this electric, magnetic, powerful strength, feminine strength about her. There were times I used to look at her and could not take my eyes off of Mama Tisa. And as we conversated, me still being in my masculine energy back then, those years and the time that I got to work with her, she would begin to pour into me and say things to me like, "You are so beautiful. Why are you so angry?" Or, "Don't respond to that. You don't have to respond to everything that's thrown at you." She said to me one time, "People have called me everything but my name and a child of God. And I have not responded to this day to other people's opinion of me." And I thought about that thing back then, but it still didn't change my attitude because I was still in masculine energy and I wanted to know, why does this chick have my name in her mouth? So I did not take in what Mama Tisa was trying to teach me. But I worked at this place with her for 9 years, and she would always speak so softly and ladylike and cross her leg, and she would see me watching her, and she would just flow in her feminine energy with me watching her. And because she's a Christian woman, I'm quite sure she said a prayer for me many times, because we have also talked about religion, but I don't want to get stuck on that. Mama Tisa began to mold me into seeing things differently by the way she carried herself. It wasn't what she said or said that I should be, but it was what she did and how she carried herself. And she was the first person who ever said to me, "It's not about how pretty you look on the outside or how well you dress up on the outside if you don't have the attractiveness, the inner beauty on the inside, and it's something that has to be worked on." She said to me, "You have things from your past that you have to deal with, and until you deal with them, you are always going to be angry and masculine and manly and controlling and dominating." And I did not want to hear any of that, because I'm like, "Lady, who you think you talking to? You trying to call me a dude?" Things of that nature. But I really had to step back the past 5 years and really process everything that she was saying to me, how she was pouring into me. So the first role model, the first person that I have ever, the first woman who actually caught my attention and allowed me to see pure femininity in action was Mama Tisa. Mama Tisa is transgender, but Mama Tisa has always and will always be a lady. She doesn't allow anyone to pull her out of character. I have watched Mama Tisa, been to her house, and watched how she talks to her husband. Watch how she interacts with her husband. Watch how she puts a smile on his face when he's not even in the mood. Watch how she brings out the best in him. The way that she spoke to him and conducted herself. Mama Tisa. And it's not to say anything like, "Oh, there's no feminine women out here. They're very rare, this, that, and the other," which they are. But I didn't have all the women around me, including my mother, my aunties, and, one of my aunties, my Aunt Sandra, she's feminine. But she's never really spoke to me about being or flowing in feminine energy and pouring into me. She poured a lot into me, but not the way that Mama Tisa did. Mama Tisa allowed me to see things from a different perspective when I wasn't ready for it. So my first role model is a transgender, feminine, high quality woman, Mama Tisa. She taught me sweetness, kindness, gentleness, patience, being nurturing, radiating, illuminating from within. She spoke some harsh, hard words to me that really snapped and clicked. And I had to go back and think about the things that she said to me that encouraged me to press forward in my journey these past 5 years. So when I come to you ladies and I speak about femininity, I'm bringing my experience as a woman in masculine energy for more than half of my life, flowing in masculine energy, getting the negative outcomes, to the past 5 years. I'm sharing with you the experience of the transition and the difference that has been made because I've chosen to walk in true feminine energy, to change from the core, from the inside, to radiate the inner beauty, to accept and receive the gifts, the superpowers that come along with feminine energy. So I take this time to share with you my experience with femininity and my big mama, Mama Tisa, the feminine diva, diamond, and doll that helped to get me to where I am today. Allow me, Momma Gail, to help you to get to where it is that you need to be. Each one teach one. This is Femininity with Momma Gail. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Have a blessed and prosperous day.